filtering.
Like, I don't know
Yeah.
how many times. Like, it's real fucking simple. God damn. But we were crashing out, guys. Just going crazy.
All of the crash out.
Anyways.
But so that was one man that I also just instantly defeated in 2.5 seconds. So if you are MAGA and you want to prove that MAGA is not gone because Ari defeated all of the emotional MAGA men today, then request up or call the number on the screen to have the conversation. So prove you still exist. Prove me a liar because all Austin did was just prove that he was an emotional MAGA man that was easily defeated by a lowly woman.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus Christ, that was embarrassing. Anyways, thanks for proving Ari's point, though. I mean that you guys are all emotional little crybabies. So cool story. Guys, if you are a Trump supporter, hop in the box. Let's have a conversation. If you're over on the tube, call in. We did have to restart the stream over there. Sorry about that. But yeah, call in. Let's have a conversation. That'd be great. The number's right above my head. It's also pinned in the chat over on the tube.
Also, the core assertion that he's doing a masterclass in foreign policy. Wow, just that level of cope. That's wild.
A master class of how to destroy relationships.
Yeah.
Oh, Austin. I mean, Austin, I gave you a second chance, and I said all you have to do is not do any more tone policing. And the first thing you said when you came off,
Are you gonna cuss?
are you gonna swear anymore?
Oh no, I said a bad word. Did it hurt your princess feelings?
Yeah. I use fuck as a comma. So
These are all signs of you crashing out, guys. Oh,
Well, in fairness, I don't think I said a cuss word. I will say that. So I guess if anyone didn't crash out, it's me. But
it's sad.
if somebody wants to send me the timestamp of the whole beatboxing moment with all of us, I
that's
will
gonna
get
be-
someone to clip that. Yeah.
Oh, we're absolutely gonna fucking clip that. That was amazing, honestly. God damn, that's beautiful, top to bottom. Kirsten says already clipped it. Okay.
W.
I always forget. I always forget that in studio that you can actually do it like in real time. I always forget that.
Oh yeah.
And like I never ever fucking do it. But the other night Nemo was like, "Hey, like remember this, clip it." And I actually did. That was the guy who said that China was full of white people.
yeah. Got ourselves a real scholar up in here.
Do they not know what the 7 races are per United States?
No, they definitely did not. He was definitely trying to argue that um, there's only white and black,
Oh.
and because basically the way that he was framing it was, oh, well, what color are they, Nemo, if they're not white? And I mean, that he was trying to argue that in the United States, we use white on government documents, which white does appear, but oftentimes it's Caucasian.
Yeah. Sorry, technically there's 6. So I'll go ahead and read this through. So you've got white, black, American Indian or Native Alaskan or Alaska Native, Asian, Native Hawaiian, or Pacific Islander, or two or more races.
Real quick, A, hello, are you a Trump supporter? A, hello, I've invited you on mute.
It's kind of a cool profile picture.
It is a cool little heart.
A,
Technically, they have the United States has Hispanic or Latino, but they don't really consider it a race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Misbehaving, hello, are you a Trump supporter?
I don't think so.
Don't think so. That seemed like it was a mistake. Okay, well um, those were the only people. Looks like we've got a fax raid incoming. Appreciate you, fax raiders. Thank you guys so much for coming in. W Steve and our fax raiders friends. Appreciate you guys. This is fun. I'm glad that Steve's been doing his late night show, and I'm glad that you guys are coming to hang out with us. Thank you so much. If you're new here, please make sure that you're following Nemo and I guess you could follow Ari too. I guess. Whatever. It's fine. I guess. Follow Ari.
Who?
Her?
Who is this Ari person?
Ari? Follow Ari.
Who is Ari?
Anyways, yeah.
I only know Audie or Aria.
Adi. Yeah, do we get to? Yeah, me right there he is. Thanks, Steve. Thank you again. Appreciate all of our fax friends for coming in. As we were just saying, thank you guys. Do us a favor. Please continue to help out with that live goal. Please continue to help out Nemo with that. That helps the FYP and Ari while she's here up on the panel as well. If you'd like to offer additional support, please do so via our pay apps so that you can find in our links and bios. We appreciate that. If you're over on the tube, you can find those links right down in the description of the video, and our mods can probably pop those up every so often. I know that we are. Oh, hey, Mr. Wheels, what's up? And I know that we are having a little technical difficulty there with the super chats. So it looks like at the moment you're gonna have to send stuff in via the app. So if you can, send them in to us that way. We would appreciate it. And otherwise, once again, if you voted for Donald Trump, if you were a Trump supporter, we would like to have a conversation with you. Matt, I have a question. It's about animals. I that's lovely, but
Animals
does not say ask me questions about
Peter,
animals.
that's funny.
So another time. I run my veterinary stream every other month on the 32nd. So come in then.
I just still want it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I just want to still know why our military isn't updating our list of fallen on their website.
They haven't?
No, it's they only have 10. Oh, I showed this on my live the other day, and I'm trying to figure out why they stopped at 10. Let me see. I updated it. Let me just go back to it.
Let's see.
Yep, still at
Hi, thanks for calling the stream. Are you a Trump supporter?
10. Still at 10.
I know I'm not. How are you tonight?
I'm okay, friend. If you're
How do you better che?
really hard to hear you though.
I'm okay, friend.
Then there's the echo.
Can you hear me now?
You got to turn down the stream in the background.
All right, give me 1 sec. I got you.
You got to turn down the stream.
Hey Matt, how are you today?
Doing okay, friend. You said you're not a Trump supporter, right?
No, I called in the other night just to have some fun, and I figure I figure I'd take like two nights off and then just chat with you because you said I could call in anytime I want.
Okay, we talked the other night. Sorry, what was your name?
Justin.
Justin. Okay, I do think I remember chatting with you. Was there
Yes.
something in particular you wanted to talk about, Justin?
I just wanted to say, you, Nemo, Ari are awesome. I appreciate you guys,
Thank you, friend.
and I will say, you guys have helped me change my mind. You guys are, I will say, you guys are very.
Oh,
I don't know you guys personally, but I will say you guys are You guys are my friends in a distant.
Oh, well, well,
thank you.
thank you, Justin. We appreciate
Oh,
that very much. Thank you. I appreciate that.
anytime.
Absolutely.
No, I'm not gonna. No, I'm not gonna ask for you to hit to
Humiliate
to
you
yell
like
at
you
me
did the
again.
other night, like you asked us to yell at you.
No, no, no. I will probably say it later on though, but not right now.
Okay.
Hey, I saw when you crushed the watermelon, the shoes that you were wearing. What kind were they? Cause I'm gonna try and buy a pair.
Those are called sabahs. It's spelled
Sabaz.
Sabah. They're Turkish, actually. So,
Okay.
yep. Um, but Justin, although I do appreciate you very, very much, friend, I do want to really try to keep this on political talk, and I really want to try to get some other Trump supporters in to talk to. Um,
Okay.
so. So at the moment, I'm gonna try. We're gonna try to see if we can get some more in. But I really do. I really do
Well,
appreciate you, bud. I mean that sincerely.
well, can I mention this?
Sure, real quick, go for it.
All right. So I saw it today where Trump. I saw on the it was a website where Trump. It was 19 Americans that passed, and now it's 15 passed away. So why did Trump denounce the four other American soldiers that passed away? That's that's what I wanted to mention.
Well, yeah, actually, I saw a report on. Oh, and actually, somebody just mentioned it too in the chat. Just
Yeah.
popped up that there was a list of KIAs that changed.
Mm-hmm.
And Ari mentioned it too. So yeah, we actually are probably gonna talk about that. But do we know why? No, we don't know why.
Well,
I
actually,
mean, I
Oh yeah, Ari.
so yeah, so no, it's actually directly on the DFAS website.
Okay.
And so it's, or DCAS, my bad. So I'll send it to you. And I don't think that they ever listed the full names because, again, like I said, it stopped at 10. It doesn't even, while they show that there are 14 deaths, when you click on names of the fallen, they only have 10 of them listed. And what Chris's eyes noticed, so like if you go to names of the fallen,
Mhm.
is that the three names that are not listed, they are all Air Force captains.
Of course. I saw that when it came on my because I watch the news on YouTube. I don't believe anything that's like NBC, CNC, or whatever it is. I saw that the oldest soldier that they of the four that they said was 20, 26,
For the recent deaths.
21, 26, 21, 19, and 22. I could be wrong with the ages,
Angel is
but I just
28.
glanced at it.
Angel is the one that they have marked as presumed dead.
Mm-hmm.
And you can actually, I didn't find that from the United States. I found that from Military Times, I believe, is where I got that list, where it shows all 18. But no, like specifically, I don't. Also, I will say I broke a story before the New York Times yesterday. That's pretty cool.
I didn't.
Um,
I didn't get to see it. Share that with me too, as well, my friend. I appreciate you.
W's
yeah,
Ari. W's for Ari.
that's pretty cool, actually. I just want to like post that and like screenshot the name and be like title be like, I broke this before the New York Times. What?
Real quick, I just want to say thank you to our friend Wesley Pillow for the PP. Thank you for the PP for the 5 on the PP. Says, hope this goes through. It did. Hi, Matt, Nemo, and Ari. Much love. Time to say the things. Charlie Kirk was a better fountain than a debater or a Christian. God is a trans woman, and Jesus was a gay man who washed other men. Chat, hit the like button like Trump hit every one of his wives.
Oh shoot.
I will say this about Charlie Kirk. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. He was a hated man. He was a piece of shit.
Yep.
He did not.
I mean,
He did not.
no
He
notes.
did not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest. I got to meet him one time. It was a California event. I got to meet him. I got to say, hey, how are you? I will admit, I have it on video. This man said to me in 2019, fuck you, get out of my face.
That
And I
doesn't
was
surprise
like,
me. But I do have to drop,
right.
Matt. I
I-
just wanted to make sure I didn't leave without saying bye-bye. Thanks, Nemo. Thanks,
Thanks.
Matt. Y'all have a good one. I'll probably be in the chat for a little bit.
Thanks for not hectoring us. We appreciate it. And we'll catch you later. Justin, well, one day, friend, would love to see that video because that would be awesome.
of course.
But listen, my friend, I'm gonna bring you down. But I like I said, I do appreciate you calling in, and we appreciate you being who you are. We're gonna try to see if we can get some debates in here. Okay, friend.
I appreciate you.
Okay, I hope you have a good
I
night.
hope. Oh yeah, I'll message you a little later.
Okay, you take care, friend.
You too, buddy.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Justin, we appreciate you, friend. Hope you have a good night. All right, guys, we're just looking to talk to Trump supporters right now. So if you are a Trump supporter, please hop in the box. Let's try this. We got 2 people in the box. Let's see what we got here.
Salam alaikum.
Sorry, we can't platform anybody right now with that. We can't verify if they're real or not. Sorry. McCandless Happy Paws. If you are a Trump supporter, you are more than welcome to re-request. So yeah, guys, hop in the box. Let's have a conversation. Or if you are over on the tube or on Twitch, give us a ring. The phone line is open, as Justin just proved. We have well over 900 people, actually close to 1,000 between our 3 streams. So what's up? What are you guys doing? Why are you afraid? After what happened to Austin, are you afraid that you're going to look as stupid as he did? Is that it? Oh, you're fine, McCandless Happy Paws. That's okay. You're fine. I think that might be what you're afraid of. You're afraid that you're going to look as silly as Austin. And that, I mean, there's a chance of that, I guess. But it just means you're afraid. That's rough.
Yeah, I think it's high likelihood at this point.
Absolutely. Yeah. How is Erika doing? She's doing great. She's around. Okay, let's see what we got here. Luke, hello. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, I'm in the process of reaffirming where I stand as far as my beliefs.
Cool.
Okay. How old are you and what state are you
35, California.
in? Okay. So when you say something like that, so are you still supporting Donald Trump right now or not?
It's not an overnight thing. I feel like if you lived your whole life as a Republican, and I feel like it takes a while to kind of. It takes research. I feel like it takes more. Uh, it's one thing just to say, "Hey, I'm not voting for Trump." Come the next elect, or I'm sorry, I'm not voting for. I'm going to vote blue or whatever for the next presidential election. But it's another thing to really have your good faith reasons why you support what you support. And so yeah, I'm in the process of sort of deconstructing, if you will.
Okay. And
I've called
so
in once before. Remember, I had a really bad fire alarm, and I don't know if you remember, my fire alarm wouldn't stop going off, and we had to end the call, which was sad. But
I don't
anyways,
remember,
Don't remember.
but
Sorry.
I mean, like you said that you're going through a process of. So you say that are you moving away from MAGA? Is that what you're trying to say?
oh yeah, I thought I had mentioned. So yeah, my bad. So I voted for Trump twice, and then January 6th happened, and I didn't really research. I kind of checked out during the Biden administration, and then I did vote for Kamala, right? Because I knew enough to know that, hey, I'm definitely not letting another January 6th happen. I don't want to see shit smeared all over the Capitol walls, right? Like it was the last time.
Right.
So, and I didn't want to see a president throw a vice president under the bus the way he did that. What happened to Pence was like really, a telltale sign of who he was. So, when I say this, it's like, yeah, it's like, so I don't support Trump. Well, what now? Like, I'm trying to get aboard. Like, I'm trying to really understand and fully like check my privilege. It's just a process. I'm trying to do things that don't hurt people, like make decisions and understand. That. Well, in the magosphere, I just really think these people don't, quite understand how far they've taken it. If that makes sense. And I know enough to know, and I watch enough politics to know uh, that the things you say, and the support you give and respects hurts people, and it's just a part of the process. So, like I said, I'm still reaffirming. I'm trying to understand, this whole social democrats of America. There's a few things that I'm a little shaky on, and I'm just trying to see, like where do we go from here, right? Um, Not to say that I'm just somebody hanging out in the middle where I say, oh, two wings of the same, bat or whatever they say, right? I don't want to sit there and say that because that's, well, someone who gives zero effort in life, right? But uh, I'm really trying my hardest to put like my. I don't know if you guys went through this, like where you try to put aside like your feelings and you really try to look, hey, what is the best decision for people, right? And all people, not just one group. With the way I vote, if that makes sense. Um, but it's a tough process. Like, you know, it doesn't happen overnight. I have a MAGA mother. I have like things I've dealt with, and so I guess I've really moved center, and then I've moved more left recently. But there's certain things that I just can't get behind. and I really am hoping that I guess more is done for people like me to kind of just to kind of bridge the gap because uh, I guess things are so the situation is so dire. I really do not blame anyone for the reactions and emotions that they feel, right? Because the situation that we're in with the president and just the government, but it's just it's not a nice thing anymore. It's not like a hey, come on over to our side. It's you're hurting people. Fuck you, you bigot, you jackass. You know what I mean? I see a lot of that.
Yep.
I feel it though. Sometimes I am that jackass, and I have to check myself. You know, does this make any sense? So it's really like a process.
Well, sort of, but I mean, look, I mean, I'm not sure. What can I ask you, Luke? I think just briefly, is there something that you're hoping to get out of a conversation here? I mean, I'm asking that genuinely. I'm not. I'm what I'm
Okay,
asking.
sorry, dude.
No, I'm asking.
Yeah,
maybe
I'm sorry, man. I know it just it kind of reflected back that I was just sort of ranting, but
it's okay. I just but
yeah,
like,
there should
what
be a
would
point.
yeah, what would be
Yeah.
what would be the thing that we could have here? Like, what could we help with here?
I don't know. It's just for me. I'm so torn. Like I understand for you guys, it's you've already. Uh, I'm sure you fully embraced, for the most part, where you stand on issues. And sometimes I feel the same way. I feel very affirmed in what I believe. But something sometimes pulls me a little bit conservative again every once in a while. And then I kind of have to like
Well,
go
just
back and reassess. It's just a process. You know what I mean?
okay.
Or not?
So just because all right. So just because there's a bunch of issues that I already have formed ideas on, or that Nemo may have like formed ideas on, it doesn't mean that automatically there's just like, oh, you definitely know how you feel about everything. I mean, there's nuance to different things. There's research that needs to be done. So I mean, I think that most normal people who want to be thorough and are intelligent are going to spend time working on those things. Okay, so that would be number one. So I don't think that it's uncommon to spend time working on things. Okay, so start there. That's okay. And if you're saying that you really would like to move away from the right, and you're trying to do it, then it sounds to me like you want more explanations about maybe about certain issues. So what I would say is, if there are issues that you're struggling with, or there's things that you're like, hey, I would maybe like to see the left's point of view on this. Maybe that's a thing that we should discuss, not to debate it with you, but so that we could explain it, if that's a thing, because we don't have any other guests at the moment. But if there's something that maybe pick one thing maybe that you're like, hey, I don't, and I'm not saying that I'm not saying we want to debate you on it. I don't want to grill you on it. I want to say, what is a thing that you're maybe not sure about, and maybe we could discuss it.
Okay. I really feel like yes, because I feel like what's good right now is to do what I did last election, and this election is I'm mostly voting um, for Democrats that I find are the best. You know, sometimes if there's certain local positions, I will still vote Republican here and there. So that's the first part of it. But it just feels disingenuous sometimes because I am voting against what I believe in, but at the same time, I need to fully understand like what direction the left is taking the country because I just feel like there's a so, for example, I feel like within the capitalist system, it should be possible to make sweeping changes. So there's one thing I don't understand about, like, you could say the left or the far left, is that uh, like moving way into socialism or just trying to, maybe change titles of parties or this. I still quite don't understand how it's not just in further increasing the powers and the revenues of the central government and taking, I know it's public based ownership and whatnot, but I just feel like within capitalism there should be a way. I know that it hasn't been, right, but not to say that sweeping changes can come that will have lasting social programs should be possible with our current system. So, like, I'm not one to burn the whole system down. Does that make sense? So
No
the
one.
far
Okay. All
left
right. All right.
scares
Hold on.
me.
I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
No one is saying to burn the whole system down. They're
True.
the only people who are saying that are people who are called accelerationists. Okay, those people are like anarchists or accelerationists,
Right.
and those people are not. This is not who we are. Okay, so let's start there. That's not who. That's not what's going on. What we need to focus on, okay, is you need to focus on because it's not. It is not the like. It's not the left's job to figure out how it appeals to you. What you should be doing is figuring out where do you fit in. If you would like to say, I don't want to be a part of the MAGA crowd and the right, where do you fit in? That means that you're going to probably say, I like this and I like that. I'd like to move in, and maybe you don't embrace all of the things, maybe every issue. There's nuance, there's different things. Some of us are further left than others. I don't participate in the Second Amendment. Nemo does participate in the Second Amendment. That's okay. That's just fine. Okay, but that's a little difference of opinion. And there's other people that will say we need to go this far on it. There's other people who say we need to go this far on it. There's et cetera, et cetera. So you understand what I'm saying? You have to sit there and you have to decide, where do I fall? But if at the root of the thing, you have to sit there and go, I would like human beings to be treated equally and with respect, because every human being deserves equal human rights. We agree on that, right?
Yes.
Great. Then we've already left what the right is now, right? Because okay, so cool. So we've gotten there. Do we maybe think that under capitalism, that even though I believe in capitalism, own a business, like I like to make money, so but at the same time, do we maybe think that just unfettered capitalism hurts people? Because if you let capitalism run rampant, the only way to make profits is with the blood of the workers. Because you can't be an ethical billionaire. You cannot get to that level of wealth without hurting a whole bunch of people. I mean, yeah, people are going to make fucking fortunes off of AI, but at what cost? Like, you probably have heard about like that data center out in Utah that Mr. Wonderful, that Kevin O'Leary is doing. And the people there are fucking losing their minds, and they tried to get their local government to stop it, which they're not, because clearly they've just been bribed to do it, or they own land that's going to get parceled out and bought at huge numbers, right? It's going to not give taxes to the local community because they're giving them a major tax break. It's going to destroy the water supply locally, and it's going to raise the temperatures there by 27 degrees at a given time during the night. Like, that's how much energy is going to be given off by this thing. So capitalism just is like, fuck you. So it's okay to have a form of capitalism, but there's got to be regulation. There's got to be like some type of oversight. There's got to be something helping people. Like, I don't know, we probably need the FDA to be around to, I don't know, do things like inspect lettuce so that people don't get cyclosporious, right? They don't like that. That would probably be a good thing, right? Because guess what the Trump administration did last year? They cut down on FDA inspections, and then all of a sudden we've got that outbreak in our lettuce. These things are very much directly connected. Capitalism will always go for the lowest possible cost. They are always going to try to do whatever they can to cut corners and to make money, and it will always come at the cost of people. So that's why we can't just have unfettered capitalism. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. That was great, Matt. Gotta tell you, as far as what you were mentioning with the right, I've been listening to lives all day, and I just started noticing a pattern. It was like I didn't even have to hear what people were saying, but it was like the same pattern. These MAGA callers, a lot of the genuine ones, because there's some trolls mixed in, but it just seems like they have frustration and anger deep in their soul, and their party has drummed up, tapped into that deep-seated frustration and channeled it towards blaming, you know, immigrants, weaker people, people, any type of social program, anyone that's ever needed help, maybe veteran, like it doesn't even matter. It's just, I see that that's what it is, and it's frustration, it's fear, it's anger, and they've tapped into that, and it's a lot of it's just Trump and Fox News and the whole system, and they see red, they come on these lives and they blow out. It's the same pattern, they crash out, and and then I hear a lot of what the hosts, a lot of what did you see that guy? I reflect back. I'm a mirror. Like I always just give back what I'm given, and that's fair, and that's kind of what you do with a lot of these guys. But is it weird to tell you that I have a heart for them? Because at one point in my life, I did not like Obama. I didn't care for Obama because I was ignorant, and I was a part of that. I just grift, I just get a little bit of crust on the sides as far as research and news. And, Obamacare costs my grandparents more money, so therefore I should, screw Obama. Or, just some anecdotal reason, right? Like a lot of what you hear. And I just don't know if the whole mirror tactic of like, hey, you get what you give. Like, I get it for the obvious trolls, it makes sense. But I don't know. The more flies with honey, maybe that went out the door after January 6th. So again, I don't blame anyone's reaction to anything that's going on right now, especially people who feel especially targeted, whether they be immigrant groups or minority groups. I'm really not speaking on that. I'm just speaking on the well-off, the well-to-dos that maybe run a live or podcast that have those means of privilege, and are just able to kind of bridge a gap. But if it can't be done, it can't be done. What do I know? I don't run a panel like you do. So, but I do. I guess it's easy for me to just be a backseat driver here and say, hey, how do we deal with MAGA, or how do we move past a country where half the people are upset and they've all been lied to, and they basically blame the complete opposite cause of their
We have to
anger.
stop coddling those people, and we need to be brutally honest about what the fuck is going on in this country, because the brutal honesty of what they're seeing on their phone screens and their TV screens and different things like that is what's actually waking them up. And the brutal honesty of what's hitting their wallets is what's waking them up. And the brutal honesty of seeing service members die and starting another war and remembering what that was like, that's waking people up. And unfortunately for anyone else, that's gonna that's gonna sting a little bit. But that's where we're at. That's where we're at. So yep.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying, and for a lot of callers, maybe it was one of yours. It was like, hey, this Iran war thing, this is the straw that broke the camel's back. And like I said, I was the straw that broke my back was January 6th, right? I mean, that was absolute disgrace of any, of all disgraces. But like, it's hard for me to relate. It's like, okay, you're saying, okay, that did it. This recent war in Iran did it. What, your prices went up a little bit? Like, what is it gonna like? I
Well,
just don't see people with. It's just happening like slow, man. It's just, I just don't see it. Like, I don't think it's. I don't know. I feel like if we're waiting on another fuck up by this government to kind of get people to
no,
switch
no one's
sides, I
waiting.
just
No
don't.
one is waiting on anything. People are
Yeah,
changing their votes, and we're going to see it in the 2026 midterm. What
we'll
you
see.
need to
Yeah,
focus on is you. You need
yeah.
to keep educating yourself and change your vote. And if you want to talk to other people and explain why you're not voting for Republicans and why you're not voting for Donald Trump anymore, that would be great because that would be a big help. But you should focus on you should be focusing on you and what and
Yeah.
don't we and we can only focus on us and we can only focus on the people that we talk to. You hear people call up and ask Nemo and I and when I'm on with Erika, people ask us and they're like, "Where do we go from here? What do we do? How do we?" And I'm like, "Just what? Just not like what the fuck? There's
Yeah.
nothing. This is not. This isn't. It's not like that. This is one day at a time. Change votes, change minds, and you just keep moving forward. There is nothing magical that's going to happen. This is not. This is. It's. That's not a thing. But you, I appreciate the fact that you want to change. That you're changing your mind, and this is good. But you have to focus on you. You just have to focus on you. You know what I mean? That's the way
Hmm.
that I would say you focus on you and everyone else that is changing their minds they should be focusing on themselves. And we get a lot of callers and we get a lot of people that talk to us that are like, I've changed my mind. Things are different. I think we've gotten more in the past couple of weeks than I've heard in a long time. Like, it's been wild. They've been calling up Nemo and I a lot. Eric and I got one or two as well over the last couple of weeks. Like we've gotten a lot. So that's what I would say. That's all
Oh
me.
yeah,
You know.
I've watched Erica's really exceptional. No complaints there. She's amazing, and she's highly educational to watch, and I appreciate her lives. Um, Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong Eric. Oh, is that a different Erica? Oops.
There's two of us.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
We're
sorry.
quite different from one another. I
Yeah.
just I've been listening to you for a little while. Nemo, you watch Gary's Economics, right?
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah, same. I really think, Luke, you should go watch Gary's Economics on the tube. And the reason I say that is because you keep talking about people being unhappy with what's going on in the world. Um, I would argue that the reason that people are unhappy with what's going on in the world is that 50 years ago in your country and mine, people could do a normal, everyday job and afford on their salary, wherever they were living in the country, at least to have a shot at buying a property, at least to have a shot at living a decent life. And what has happened over the last 50 years, I mean, I'm 47, so this has happened throughout my life, is that those normal working everyday people have had less and less of a shot at buying a house, have had less and less of a shot at not living paycheck to paycheck. And that is because of capitalism. That is because the rich are getting richer. We saw the biggest wealth transfer, I think, ever during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the rich are paying less towards our systems than they ever have. The tax burden has disproportionately moved towards working and middle class people and away from the rich who have more disposable income than anybody else. And people are frustrated because what our governments have done is, instead of replacing traditional industries that made some areas of our countries thrive, like coal mining in West Virginia and the car industry in the northern United States, and steel, instead of replacing those things with I don't know, IT related jobs that could quite easily have gone to those parts of the country if incentives had been put in place to attract businesses there. Instead, what they've done is let those places fester, and then the people there are desperate. So they're saying, well, who do I vote for? Who's going to change it? And you get somebody like Donald Trump come in who says, well, I'm going to bring coal back. I'm going to bring coal back to this place that has seen the worst of the epidemic in the country, because people are just, they have no hope, right? And so they're self-medicating in order to, I don't know, in order to see something positive in the world. And instead of doing those things, he's let those people down and given that money that he could have invested in those parts of the country back to billionaires. And that is why people are frustrated. And instead of blaming the people that should be blamed, which are governments, the government is going, look over there at migrants. It's their fault. Or look over there at the LGBTQIA plus community. It's their fault. It's not our fault. It's not the rich people's fault. And so when you sit up here saying, well, I don't think that we have to change this. I don't think that we have to do this overwhelming change in the system. We need a wealth transfer is what we need. And we have to find some way of doing that. And it's going to be painful, but we have to.
Sure, yeah, I 100% agree with you as far as if someone does the math and they add it up and they tally and they say, hey, how does a trans person really affect my life that lives in another state that wants to play sports? Or how does someone crossing an imaginary line because they want to put food on their family's table and work a little bit, how does that actually stack up to my life? And they do the math and they add it up and they figure out it affects almost zero, if not probably improves society as a whole. But for them to be fooled the way they are by this MAGA movement, it's just the dispensation of insane, right? Now, I think it all starts with leadership.
Well,
I feel like we have to have leaders that really do something to help the people.
well,
Because
I think that we're moving. I think that we're moving very much in that direction. Um, I actually would. I really think that we should maybe. I think. Have you seen Gary? Have you seen Gary from Gary's Economics? Have you seen it?
Gary Stevenson is his name.
Yep.
Gary Stevenson.
Yep. I think we should watch this real
Can
quick.
I give a super quick bit of background on Gary Stevenson?
Yeah.
So Gary Stevenson was a stock market trader in London. And he made a ton of money being a stock market trader, but what he figured out was that he was very successful at it, and the reason he was very successful is because every time he made a trade, he was like, what possible outcome could be worse for people? What could be worst for, working and middle class people? And that's what he made his trades on. He was gambling on things hurting people. And every time he gambled on something that would hurt people, he ended up making money for himself and others. And he worked out over time, well, how cynical is this? And it shouldn't be this way. It shouldn't be that people can only make money on the misery and suffering of others. And so now what he does is he educates people on how much wealth has made its way from the working and middle class to the top 1%, and suggests ways that we can move that capital back to more people.
Yeah.
Gary Stevenson, got it.
Let's take a quick listen.
Can you point to a period in UK history, for example, where massively punishing rich people by massively taxing them has actually benefited the country?
Listen,
because I can't really.
My dad was born in 57. He worked for the post office, Royal Mail, 35 years. Never once earned more than the average wage in the country. He was able to buy a house, support a family. My parents are retired now. They own their own property. They're financially secure. That's not possible now. He lived in an era where the top rate of tax was much, much, much higher. The 50s, the 60s, the 70s in the UK, in the US, the top rate of tax on large estates was significantly higher. And in that time period, it's not a coincidence, ordinary people could afford to buy houses. They could afford to, listen, this is not normal, okay? Read your history, right? You read Charles Dickens? Charles Dickens? In this country we're talking in right now, 150 years ago, ordinary men and women lived in desperate poverty, okay? That's going to happen again.
I mean,
Yeah, and like I was looking up housing today on Redfin, and I just noticed like a house that my grandparents used to own in San Jose, California. Just 10 years ago, it was selling for, like right around, maybe 350, okay? And whatever had happened, I was just looking at whatever Redfin chart they had, the graph. In 10 years, that house increased a price of over 70%. So how in 10 years are houses costing, more than 70% of what they used to cost here? And I mean, it's insane. It's the same thing here in America. Exactly.
Matt,
yep.
you know that video that I sent you yesterday? The one about...
I got you.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull it up this way. The cute dachshund at the veterinarian. Sure, I can show that one.
Not that one.
Oh.
But hey, if we want a little light relief later.
Let's see if I can find it. When did you send it to me?
It was yesterday. You commented back on it. It was the one with the guy in the Union Jack suit.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm looking for it. There it is. Got it. Thank you. Okay.
This might help explain that to you.
Copy. Okay, and paste. Oh, sorry, Nemo. Nemo was like, I'm gonna rejoin. Sorry, dude. There we go. My bad, man. Okay. Just took a second. Eric and I send a lot of shit. Okay, so don't.
Most of his videos of dachshunds.
What do you think is the biggest reason for the house?
There we go. Okay, perfect. Let's show.
Crisis right now.
Immigrants.
Too many immigrants coming into the country taking all the houses.
It's illegal immigration, isn't it?
So you think there's too many people in the country?
More or less, yeah, I would say so.
So any idea about this building?
Dilapidated, pigeons.
Well, you can say it's an eyesore.
Just like to see something made of it, really.
Don't know if you know this, but since 2006, developers have had planning permission to convert that into 61 homes.
Damn.
Wow.
Then why ain't it being done?
Property developers make more money sitting on the land waiting for the price to go up rather than bothering to develop it.
That's wrong. That's not good.
It's all about money, isn't it?
Meanwhile, in this whole area, there are 10,000 people waiting for social housing.
Whoa.
Any idea how many houses went up for social rent last year?
Not very many.
39.
39. Only 39.
Wow.
Oh, man. Need more?
With that in mind, it'd be 250 years to clear that list.
That's crazy.
But the thing is, there's actually a simple solution. If the government taxed these empty properties, then it would be more profitable for the developers to convert them into houses.
Sounds like a plan to me. Good idea.
There are actually 1.4 million sites like this ready to be converted into homes.
Wow, shocking.
Unbelievable. They need to do something now.
Just think what that could do.
Absolutely, let's do it.
You thought at the beginning the housing crisis might be because there's too many people here.
That's the thought, yeah.
Has that changed your mind about what the biggest problem is?
Yeah. Yeah, a bit, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Has this made you look at it slightly differently?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. You don't think about it, do you, how many properties are sitting empty like that?
Yeah. What do you think is the biggest reason for the housing crisis?
Interesting. And of course, what did I say back to you, Erika?
You said, same is happening here.
Yup.
There are, I can't remember. I looked it up, how many empty properties there are in the US. It's millions and millions and millions of empty properties.
Literally. Millions.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
And Nemo, do you want to intro this video too?
Yeah, so this is the one that I thought the first one was. So basically, same dude, Gary Stevenson. He went on to Piers Morgan, like I guess a year or two ago, and obviously Piers Morgan is British. They talked a bit about the UK, but they also talked about the proposals that Gary has made. And so Piers Morgan at that point asked a pretty good question, which we get a lot. And I don't think that he was intending for it to be a good question, but it was. Which is, can you name a country where socialism has worked? And yeah, he gives a good answer here.
Hopefully it's not an all-white country like China.
Right?
5 years, we've watched the biggest ever increase in millionaire and billionaire wealth in the history of this planet, immediately followed by a collapse in living standards of the middle class, a complete collapse in the ability of ordinary people to own assets, and nobody's drawing the
But Gary, let me ask you a hard question. Can you point to a country in the last century where socialism has worked?
I will point to a country where taxing the rich at a fair rate led to good living standards for working people, United States, 1955. I am trying to stop the redistribution. I am trying to stop the redistribution that is happening in front of our eyes. The American middle class, the British middle class is dying. Their wealth is being sucked away and is being owned by an international super rich elite who pay no tax, while the people watching this show pay 40%, 50%, while billionaires pay nothing.
Yup.
Guys, I really see it. I see it now. But I don't think the older generations ever will get it. And sadly, they may have to go the way of the dinosaurs because there's just too much red scare in our country. And a huge part of the voting base. I think it's just going to take time. That's it. But I see it. I see it. And
by the way, when you talk about the older generation, you're talking about the generation that directly benefited from the higher taxes in the 1950s and 60s and 70s. The reason that they don't get it is because they benefited from that, and that's when they were able to get on the property ladder, and all you have to do to make them get it is point out the difference between then and now. is point out the difference between the circumstances under which they were able to be in the position that they're in versus the position now. It's not about not having Netflix and buying a few less Starbucks and that money adding up to help towards you buying your first home. That doesn't work anymore. You could live on starvation rations, but the fact is rent prices are out of control, house prices are out of control, and it's putting ownership of assets out of the reach of most people until they inherit from their parents, if and when that ever happens. Because if their parents own nothing, they have no chance.
In the Great Depression, during one of the worst economic times in our country's history, it was more affordable to buy a house than it is today. As a percentage of your income, houses were more affordable. And they were. And they got worse and worse and worse starting mostly in the 80s. And when you do what Erika said, and you go back and you look at all of these things, you point out to boomers that not only did they get the benefit of those higher taxes that the rich were getting, those taxes paid for all of the socialism. The college that was 80% subsidized by the federal government, right? Shit like that none of us ever got to see. I'm in my 40s now. Erika's in her 40s. We never got that shit. Like, so I know you and Nemo, you guys are in your 30s. You guys didn't get that shit either. So if we're in our 40s and we didn't get that, like, fuck. This is absolutely absurd. So that's it. Either they're either with us or against us. And if they're against us, you're right. They've got to go. Maybe they have to go extinct.
I mean, yeah, I kind of see like them being like, okay, the last 10 or 15 years of my life are very I have retirement accounts, I have 401ks, I have Social Security that I'm collecting. I mean, I have two parents that are boomers. And so they are like, they are drinking the cream that they're getting to drink, and that cream will be dry by the time it's our turn, right? And yeah, I mean, it's easy for them to stay comfortable and to keep voting on their monetary standings. They're what's going to benefit them. And again, I have a MAGA mother, and I'll explain things like this to her, and she won't get it. She'll hang up on me, and then I want to have a mother, so I'll call her like a couple of weeks later or a week later, and and she'll, oh yeah, Trump's doing a great job, isn't he? And I'm just like, oh my God, like I don't know, man. I just feel like it's. And like when Charlie Kirk died, I had two of my parents be like, "Oh, wasn't he a good pastor?" or something. So I'm just like, "Oh my God!" Like, look, man. I'm very like open-minded, like I said, like the whole reaffirming, and I feel like it's the Socratic method in some ways. Just it was instilled in me because I am educated, and but so were my parents. So were a lot of these boomers. So I just don't.
Yeah, they just want to believe that they did. They pulled themselves up by their bootstraps, and nobody gave them any help, and blah blah blah, and whatever. And so that's what they all believe, and that's yeah. So, but we're past that point, and if your mom doesn't believe it, then you then okay, fine. You tried, you did it, but talk to somebody else that will. talk to somebody else. You put your energy into finding someone else that will, and put your energy into voting for the right people, because that's all that we can really say at this point. But I am glad that you've seen seen what, maybe a path forward, and what the positives of this are, and where these things went wrong.
Yeah, well, I don't see it getting better anytime soon. It's almost a exponential decline that we're on, as far as like what you mentioned with the data centers and certain things that are just going to not help, right? But yeah, man, I wanna say I'm with you, comrade. But if the bombs go off, I'm with you, comrade. But I don't know, man. I'm just day to day here, and I take it all in, and like I said, I really think it's just the leadership, and a lot of it probably is the system too. It wouldn't surprise me if it was the system, like what you saying.
What do
and
you
what,
mean? Like whenever you say it's the leadership?
I just don't see leaders backing up. Well, I see the Democrats trying harder, of course. Like no one's perfect. No one can do everything they promised, and but it's not enough, you know. But hopefully it becomes enough, and hopefully people get out and vote. And
So
I don't mean to be a downer, man. I want to see it.
Well,
I want to see
I
success and change. I want to see
I'm
that.
still just trying to understand what you mean by, it's the leadership. I mean, if you're saying that the leadership in the Democratic Party sucks, then sure, yeah, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, yeah, they suck, of course.
No. I mean, when I mean leadership right now, I think the Republican leadership has done more damage, I feel like, than the Democrats in the last decade or a little more. So I see it, I see that. And when I say leadership, I mean the conservative leadership that's had control of the wheel has not, like, for example, if we had an Obama-esque president for the past, maybe 2 years after Biden, we might be looking close to a corner that we could almost see, turning the corner. We're not going to turn it, but we might be at least have an end of a tunnel in sight type thing. But this is just so far gone that we're just pitch black at this point with what leadership we have right now currently, right? So the current leadership is dog shit, and it's a horse without reins. It's out of control. Everybody knows it. Yeah, man, it really makes the old days of Obama's somewhat moderate stance on things, where people used to scream. That's probably when I started to get off the train. January 6th did it, but I really saw that, hey, Obama was not this crazy, so like they used to call him socialist and all this. He was not. In hindsight, when you look back and the history books are written, he was not that even far left. He was a big time moderate, in my opinion. And it's just, again, that was just this whole, I feel like that's when the whole MAGA clause first started digging in, was at the tail end of Obama. And something's built on a lie, it lives on a lie, and it's just thriving on a lie. You know what I mean?
Can I point something out to you? And it's
Yeah.
going to be harsh, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah, go ahead,
anyway.
hit me.
You're
Make me
doing
bleed.
this thing where you're saying we need massive change, but at the same time, I don't want it to change too much because that's scary. Matt
Did I
was
say
right.
that?
It's the implication of
Did
what
I
you're
say I'm
saying.
scared?
No, it's the implication of what you're saying. You're saying we need massive change, but at the same time you've said, but I don't understand why we can't do this under the capitalist system that we have.
Well,
We
look,
can't
changing
do it under
systems,
the
it's still America. And I'm
We
sorry to cut
can't-
you off, but changing systems would be great. But again, it's still an American system, whether it's social democrats of America or capitalist America with
Okay.
social
Okay. I
net
hate
safety
to
nets.
I hate to break
I
this to
just
you.
think it all comes down to
I,
leadership in the end. I
okay.
really think
I'm really sorry.
any system
You've
can be
been
hijacked.
yapping. Hi. You've been yapping
Yeah,
for an awful long time and essentially not really
but
saying very
you've
much.
slowly gish galloped me, and so I'd like to just instantly respond to you.
I
Okay?
haven't gish galloped at all.
But you kind of go off on me,
Yeah,
and you've been
no,
doing it this whole
that
time.
hasn't happened at all, dude. Like, no, and
Um,
you've been talking a lot, and we've let you
Yeah,
talk a whole fucking lot.
that's true.
But I also want to point out, I just said to you, what I'm going to say is going to be harsh, and you said, hit me with it. And then as soon as I said it, you were like, oh, no, but that's not what I'm like. Either you want people to be honest with you or you don't. And I understand that when people are honest, it can feel uncomfortable. But I'm just giving you my observations of the things that you're saying. You're saying we need major change, which is true. That major change needs to occur, and I'm going to say that major change needs to occur pretty much throughout the Western world. The US can think of itself as different and special, but most countries are encountering the same issues right now. This is not a US only issue. The difference between the US and other developed nations is ostensibly that in the 1950s and 60s, when all the other developed nations started saying things like, actually, we'd like to look out for people more, and they did things like establish universal healthcare, the US said, nope, not for us, we're going to go a different way. And what that means is that wealth inequality in the US is far higher than it is in other developed nations. Far, far, far higher. You have richer people and you have poorer people than other developed nations do. And you can't at the same time say we need major change, but at the same time, I don't want to have major change, or this is the US, so it's never gonna. Every country could say that. This is the
Oh, I
UK or
want
this
major
is
change.
France.
I just don't trust the process as much as you do.
You don't know how much I trust the process. Wasn't it me that told you that governments, successive governments over and over again have done this to us? Was that me that told you that?
Sure.
Right. So I don't know how you can assess how much I do or don't trust the process, being as I've already pointed out to you that I don't trust the process because governments are the people that have done this to us.
Yeah, governments are not something to trust. It's something that's forced upon us. You
No,
can
it's
trust
the
them,
opposite.
but you shouldn't.
Governments are not forced upon you. Governments are the one thing that are not forced upon you. What is forced upon you are companies.
There's a revolving door between those that hold high positions in companies and government.
And that is something we can legislate.
Yes. And there you go, leadership. I really think it's the leadership. It's who we elect to legislate.
Who elects to legislate?
I said I think it when I was talking to Nemo about leadership. I think it's those that sit in elected positions that
Okay. And
that
who
have the
puts
most
those
power.
people in those places?
Companies, like you said, it's a revolving
No.
door.
Who puts those people in those places?
That's one of the biggest arguments in politics.
It's the first three
Who
words
is
of
it?
your constitution, just in case you're struggling.
You could argue the people through, and maybe political action committees, or is it the elites that fund these campaigns and get people elected. I think it's both.
So, I mean, political action committees, what you're describing, that's an aberration that was created by a series of court cases, but namely Citizens United. The idea that money is speech and that corporations are people, and then opening up the floodgates as far as like what PACs can do when it comes to spending money on a campaign, and the rules as far as PACs are concerned are they're basically toilet paper at this point. In case anyone is curious, a PAC technically is not supposed to coordinate with the politician that they are working with. They're not supposed to coordinate with the campaign. They are supposed to be separate. But I mean, I think that we all know that that's just silly. That's definitely not being enforced whatsoever. And so we're at this spot where infinite money can be poured into whatever campaign, whatever politician through PACs. And so the regulations around like the maximum that an individual can give to a politician is more or less pointless, at least for the rich. For the average person, yeah, it actually is a limiting factor, because your average person isn't about to go spin up a fucking PAC and deal with all the paperwork and legalities surrounding that. Most of the time, people are just gonna, give some money to, whatever politician it is through Act Blue or whatever the fuck. So what ends up happening is there's this unfair back channel that's created that is specific to the wealthy, and it allows them to control how politics is done in this country. It is oligarchy.
Yep.
Like Mitt Romney comes to mind. Somebody who
we do.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Luke, I was gonna say we've had you up for an hour. I think we maybe would like to try to move on and have some other conversations. Right. We appreciate it.
I need to be. Can I just say I need to be more educated on some things, and as far as like I need to learn more about changing the system that we have, because I still am weak as far as like my knowledge on that. So hopefully, if I ever come up again, I can at least bring up some positive points or something that I learned as far as that goes. But I do need to, and this is part of it. Like coming on your live, I appreciate it.
Yep.
Because I'm able to learn more. And now, what you guys said, if I was combative, I'm sorry. I'm going to go back and take a look at a lot of it and hopefully be in a better spot. So thank you very much.
Okay, Luke, we appreciate it. And I appreciate the fact that you're trying. And I would say, yeah, go back and check out, watch back, and we'll catch you another time. Thanks for coming up. Let's see what we got here. Capitalism is good. Hi, are you a Trump supporter?
No, I didn't. I voted for him in 2016, but didn't vote for him in 2020 or 2024 for obvious reasons.
Okay, well that's good, friend. We are just looking for current Trump supporters, but I'm very glad that you are not a current Trump supporter. So thank you.
If you ever want to talk capitalism, let me come up. All right, appreciate it.
Okay, friend. Thank you. Real quick, would like to say thank you to our friend. Thank you to our friend Wesley over on the tube. Yay, super chats are back. Also, this conversation, no notes for Erika, Matt, or Nemo. Much love as always. Thank you Wesley. It's appreciated. And then earlier, much earlier, got a green app from Marcelo. Can corporations or governments force you to sell your property? Corporations, no. Government, well, our government can through the process known as eminent domain. Eminent domain is when the government is, say, building a highway, and they are, building it, and it might go through your property and their plan, and there's no other way to do it. They can actually force you. They can force you to sell your property in that way. So that's one way that the government can do it. Now, obviously, you'll get compensated for it. The other thing is they can force you to sell your property if you are, say, like behind on your taxes or different things like that. So that's another way that they could force you to sell a property. So those are things that can actually happen. Yeah. Am I missing anything, Nemo?
No, our
Sorry,
government
Erika,
can.
what were you gonna say?
Our government can do it too, except here it's not called eminent domain; it's called compulsory purchase.
That's right.
So I drove home from the east coast of England, which is a real thing. Somebody told me that England doesn't have an east coast on a live. They said only the United States has a place called the East Coast.
It's an island.
It's
I know.
literally, it's got all of the coasts.
I did explain that. I said that Great Britain is an island. We have an east coast, a west coast, a north coast, and a south coast. And they said, yeah, but when you say the phrase East Coast, nobody would think of the east coast of Britain. And to which my answer was, British people would. And then what I really wanted to do is, for the rest of the time I was away, I wanted to do one of those on street things, when people are like, if I asked you about the East Coast, can you name me a place on the East Coast? And wait for them to name me all British places. Anyway, when I was on my way back from the East Coast, there were a ton of highway projects going on, and there's something called East West Rail going on, which is linking the center of the country with the East Coast, which has really bad road and rail links in comparison to a lot of other parts of the country. And part of that is, I don't know whether you know this, Universal Studios are building a new Universal Studios in the UK, like literally 20 minutes from my house. They're building a new Universal Studios, and they're putting £5 billion into the local economy, and that is funding a ton of upgraded rail and road links, because they're going to need those when they open their theme park.
And when will that be completed?
2028 or 2029.
That's a ways away.
That kind of ballpark, yeah.
I'm not going to wait that long to come visit. So
no, but all of that land where they are building, we also have another big infrastructure project going on called HS2 right now, which is a high-speed rail from London up into the north of England. All of those projects have included compulsory purchase, because if you want to build a railway and everybody else sells their land, and some farmer in the middle is like, nah, you're not having mine, you can't just build a big bridge over that farm, or tunnel under it. You have to buy all of the property on that route. And the US government does exactly the same thing when they need to complete primarily infrastructure projects.
Yeah. Eminent domain is one of those controversial powers that the U.S. government has. There's actually also, you run into eminent domain situations with companies too. They basically exercise eminent domain like the government does it on their behalf. So, for instance, in Georgia recently, and I have to say, AOC, shout out to her, she has been drawing attention to this. So, in Georgia, like rural parts of Georgia, data centers have been popping up, and it's not good because it isn't just a matter of, oh, hey, there's this building with a bunch of computers in it. That's cool. No, that's not how that works. Like, and data centers cause a lot of issues. And what's been happening, especially in like these rural areas, Memphis is another example. Data centers have been allowed to pop up and basically say to hell with environmental regulations in those areas or any type of quality of life regulation that exists, clean air, clean water, whatever it is. And it's causing all sorts of problems for the communities in those areas. So not that long ago, y'all might remember when AOC it was during like a congressional hearing, she had a jar that had water in it and it was brown. And she was basically asking, I can't remember who she was questioning, but she like held it up and was saying, this is the water that came out of the faucet of somebody in this part of Georgia where this data center exists. But they're told that, oh yeah, no, that's totally fine. It's clean water when it's obviously not. What do you think about that? Eminent domain is also being exercised by Georgia Power. So data centers are very, very power hungry. And Georgia Power is one of the utility companies in Georgia. So to feed that, Georgia Power has been using eminent domain to try and buy up people's properties forcibly so that they can build out infrastructure to push more electricity into that area for data centers. And yeah, I mean, it's just very dystopian.
Yeah, well, there's a lot. Real quick, just thank you to Zoe on the Blue app, who said, more people need to learn the United States preamble. Thank you for what you do. Couldn't agree more. If you'd like to learn the preamble to the Constitution, I recommend the Schoolhouse Rock song because that's how I remember it. It's very easy to remember if you can sing the song in your head. So, just throwing it out there. Schoolhouse Rock song version of it. It's really solid. Just saying. But I agree with Zoe on that. Guys, we really appreciate all of you being generous. Thank you. Like Max, our friend Max just said W donors. So thank you. So appreciate that. If you guys want to offer additional support like Zoe or Marcelo or any of the other folks that we've read off, all you need to do is just click on the links in our bios. You can do that. Or if you want, you can find the links down there in the description of the Tube video. So either way is just fine. And then friendly reminder to our friends over on the Tube that super chats are back on. So if you'd like to send me a super chat, you're more than welcome to. And let's see. Oh, there's the AOC. Excellent. I was gonna show that. I was like, Erika's got some really important, pertinent shit to share with you guys, but it was literally just about the Universal Studios happening. So
it's about the Universal UK project.
So,
No, I just sent that to you for your information.
I know, but
Matthew.
I was, usually if I'm getting a link from you while I'm live, I'm thinking it's so, that's all. But I'm glad. Thank you. I will check that out. In the meantime, we should check out this video of AOC, and that is fucking gross. Why is there no volume? That's weird. Oh, up there. Couldn't see it.
This is the current drinking water in Morgan County, Georgia. Right after a data center was constructed, the Meta data center was constructed, the only difference between the clean water and this was that data center. I have another one as well. So this wasn't just one well. These wasn't just one family's situation. This is what the drinking water now looks like next to that data center. And I think both of us can agree that neither one of these things are drinkable. These families now have to ship, in a rural area, have to ship water to their house in order to cook and bathe themselves. Now, I'm curious if the EPA plans any investigations on how data centers are affecting water quality and availability. I understand what you said about the rule, but are there going to be any open investigations on this issue?
So as soon as I get back to the office, I will be looking into exactly what you've just talked about, because anywhere, whatever type of construction it is a priority to ensure that water quality standards established by EPA are being met. And so we'll be looking into that certainly.
I have a jar right here.
Sure, Jan. Whatever you say.
Hang on a minute, but didn't the Supreme Court rule under Chevron that three-letter agencies don't really have any power to do anything about these things?
Yeah, you're talking about there was a case, I think it was earlier this year or last year, and it was the Chevron deference rule that has existed for a while. And I think that basically the Chevron deference was the idea that basically the power existed with the agencies. And I think that the recent ruling overturned that idea. And I'm trying to, I can't remember the details off the top of my head, but yeah, you're on the right track.
So the EPA can look into it as much as they like, but if the executive branch say, no, it's all fine, then they have no real power to do anything about it anymore.
Yeah. So, I mean, like the EPA falls under the executive branch. The thing with like the EPA, and this is another big issue with Trump. This was one of the problems with that was laid out in Project 2025, that, I mean, it would get touched on when people would talk about it, but it really wasn't hammered enough, which is the idea that agencies that technically fall under the executive branch, which are pretty much every government agency that you can think of, more or less, it's probably part of the executive branch. So, like, for instance, the post office, that is technically a part of the executive branch, right? Now, for a long time, there's been a separation between the presidency and, I guess, like, senior leadership. So anybody that is in the president's cabinet, plus their secretaries, plus like those secretaries for the secretaries, like that group, that was generally speaking within the purview of the president, and there was much more control there. Everything else, so like your random person that works at a post office, they didn't have to worry about the president of the United States firing them. You know, there was a separation. There was an independence with agencies, and Project 2025 suggested, hey, how about we get rid of that? And the president is able to more or less hire and fire any member of any agency that falls under the executive branch. And so what that was, Schedule F employees. That's what that was called. The reason why that's a problem is because suddenly every government position or like government worker, like it's politicized, and it becomes really dangerous. The Supreme Court kind of further ruled recently that, oh yeah, independent agencies, quote unquote, are no longer, I guess, independent in the sense that they don't have to. I guess the president is able to hire and fire. Like it's not shielded in the way that it was. The only exception was the Fed, which, I mean, the Fed is already not a government agency, so that was just kind of silly.
Oh yeah, you guys, very funny. Let's see. Let's see. Once again, guys, appreciate you guys being here on a. I don't know, what night is this? Thursday? It's Thursday.
Thursday, yeah.
Or Friday morning for some of you. Or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck it is in Australia. I can't even keep track.
Might be Friday afternoon. Or even evening.
I don't know. It's one of those. I can't. Friday afternoon for you guys. Oh, yeah. I mean, whatever. It's like not real time anyways. Pretend. So
that's what I'm saying. Like New Zealand, especially, but also I guess Australia. Those two. That's like the place to go if the shit really, really hits the fan, and like you gotta run somewhere, because with Australia, I mean everything is designed to kill you. Like everything that creeps, everything that crawls, everything that flies, everything that shits on that island will unalive you. And it is either the most poisonous, most venomous, biggest, most aggressive, like whatever. There are very few exceptions on that.
Look up videos
quokkas.
of drop bears.
I just want to alert you to quokkas, which are not in fact trying to kill you. They're very cute.
They're very cute. I agree with that.
Now, New Zealand, despite being right next to Australia, does not have any, well, as far as I know, doesn't have any of the creepy crawlies that Australia has. Or mostly does not have. I think that the climate is different enough because of the elevation that they just, for the most part, don't really have the same wildlife. But everybody forgets about New Zealand, that it exists. And if the shit were to hit the fan, I mean, there's those two countries in particular trying to figure out what time it is or what day it is over there. I think it would confuse the enemy enough that they would just be like, fuck it, we're not even going to travel there. Because, wait, what is it? Tomorrow? It's yesterday there? What? Huh?
It's when?
Yeah.
It's the future.
I think the word, I mean, I lived for a bit in Australia. I think the word that we should use to describe the majority of Australia, and by that I mean the middle part where there isn't a lot, is the word inhospitable. It's very difficult to live in the middle of Australia for sure. That's why something like 80 or 90% of the people live around the coasts.
Yeah. If you look at a map of Australia, like one that I guess is a true to life color map, you kind of get a sense of why nobody lives in the middle, and it's because it's nothing but desert. And like that is the outback. And so in addition to it being a desert, it's also really fucking hot, like really really hot, like deserts, but also hotter because look at where Australia is relative to the equator. It's closer than you think. I think that a lot of us, whenever we picture Australia, we think, oh yeah, no, it's it's down there. It's not close to the equator. No, it is close to the equator. Good.
Can I tell you a fun, not so fun fact about Australia? I don't know whether you know this, Nemo and Matt, but this is a true story. You know the guys that let off sarin gas on the Tokyo Underground, I think they were called Shin Omriko. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember
I
those
remember
bad
that.
boys?
Yeah.
Where do you think they tested that gas?
What's Australia?
In the middle of the outback. They tested it. They bought a cattle station and they tested it in the middle of the outback, and nobody even noticed they were doing it because it is so freaking large.
That's fucking wild.
That they were able to, and they were also trying to develop other types of weapon, and setting off big kabooms in the middle of the Australian outback. And people don't even have you can't imagine how big some of these cattle stations are. They are freaking huge. Millions of acres of cattle station. There's a great author called Bill Bryson, if you guys are not aware of him, who is American but lived in the UK for a ton of years, and he's ostensibly a travel writer. And one of his books is called Australia, and that's a fact that I learned in Bill Bryson's book Australia. He's written some. He wrote, I think, one called A Brief History of Nearly Everything, which is also an excellent book. There's one about Shakespeare. There's lots about travel.
So, I sent you an overlay. Again, this is just one of those things. I think a lot of people, myself included, we don't appreciate just how fucking huge Australia is.
This is like
because of maps.
This is like the opposite of so many other maps that we look at. We're like, oh, look at how small all these places are, and it's like, look how fucking big Australia is.
Yeah. So like, it's basically the same size as the continental U.S. Obviously, the U.S. like once you stick Alaska in there, the U.S. is way fucking bigger. But yeah, so like, take that, and then all that middle part in Australia is just empty and hot as fuck. And
Red Shell in the comments has just said that the Anna Creek cattle station is 5.8 million acres.
Jesus Christ.
Like, that's like, it's, I I don't even know. Hang on.
Is that crow coming to get you?
Now I'm curious. What's the biggest ranch in the U.S.? I think it's King Ranch by acreage. I can't remember what it is.
To put that in perspective, my entire country is about 60 million acres. And that one cattle station is 1/10 the size of the country I live in.
So King Ranch is the biggest in the U.S. So King Ranch in South Texas is the largest single ranch in the United States, spanning roughly 825,000 acres. You said 5.7 million?
5.8 million, I think it was, yeah.
5.8, Jesus Christ.
That's crazy. I guess we don't have any other Trump supporters that want to have a conversation with us tonight. Shocked.
That's because you say to them, I'm going to say something and it might be a little harsh. And they say, go for it. And then you say it and they go, no, don't do it.
Don't do it. Thank you to Joel on the tube for the super chat. It says, thoughts on these ideas. All right, here we go. Adding seats to the Supreme Court, ending the filibuster to pass voting rights laws, which would benefit Democrats for a generation. The next DOJ going ham on this administration with charges.
I mean, yeah. I've actually gone back and forth on the filibuster. Admittedly, there have been times that I've said we should nuke the filibuster completely, and right now is one of those times that makes me appreciate the fact that we have the filibuster, because that is probably one of the last things stopping just a rubber stamp dystopia from happening. So yeah, I've been conflicted on getting rid of the filibuster. I've heard different proposals for it. So when most people think of the filibuster, like whenever we use the word filibuster, what do we mean? We mean that you sit there and you talk and talk and talk, like just in everyday usage. The word filibuster is like, okay, you are just trying to run out the clock by talking nonstop. And when most people think of the filibuster with the Senate, that's what they're thinking about. They're thinking about Mr. Smith goes to Washington. I'm about to give an impassioned speech on the Senate floor until I collapse. And they might. It also doesn't help whenever you get situations like Cory Booker. I think it was a year ago. He finally broke the record for the longest filibuster. And I mean, it was cool that he did it, because the record was held by Strom Thurmond, and it was about the Civil Rights Act, it was about civil rights.
Civil rights, yeah.
And so good that Cory Booker finally broke it. Very symbolic, but also the whole point of him doing that was ultimately performative. Senators don't have to do what Cory Booker did. They whenever the filibuster is used in the Senate, they don't actually have to stand there and talk. That's not a thing anymore. That stopped being a thing decades ago. I think it was back in the 70s when they stopped. And basically, what the filibuster is now is the 60 vote threshold. And all that a senator has to do is indicate that they will filibuster, and that they don't even have to publicly indicate. It's just a private indication of, oh, well, I'll filibuster. Boom. All right, there it is. And you have to have 60 votes. And that's it. It can be a fucking email. Now, I personally have landed on basically, going back to the talking filibuster. Because at the very least, that gives you a filibuster. And like right now, that would be very useful, right? It's useful that we have the filibuster. But also, it makes senators actually have to fucking earn their paycheck.
I kind of feel like if we're gonna, I'd take a step further. I would say bring back the talking filibuster and require people to talk like Jimmy Stewart while they do it, so that when they're doing it, they've got to talk like Jimmy. Clarence. It's why it's when an angel gets his wings. That's what I'm talking about. And here in Washington, that's how it goes, and that's what it means in this country. That's what I'm saying. You got to talk like Jimmy. If you're gonna do this, I would personally,
I love it.
I would watch every fucking filibuster if that like sign me right the fuck up. Also, all right. So, wait, real quick. Terrell says, thank you on the blue. It says, love your content. Never understand how anyone with 2 brain cells can listen to Trump and think, oh, yeah, that's my guy. He sounds so intelligent and reasonable. Unlike stupid Kamala Harris, the extremely educated woman. He's a moron. Terrell, we obviously couldn't agree with you more. I'll never really understand that also. So Joel had also asked us about adding seats to the Supreme Court, and then also the next DOJ going after this administration. So I'll let me hit the easy one. 100% get the DOJ after this administration. Period. The end. There has got to be accountability, and I absolutely do not want the whole well, it's done and we've got to move on and heal. Fuck that. Prosecute them to the fullest extent of the fucking law. I don't care. Oh, well, it's political retribution. It's not. If they're doing fucking crimes, they need to be fucking investigated.
Yeah, I agree.
Couple of things. First of all, W. Manda Rose Raiders.
Oh, welcome in, Manda Ray. Oh, I see that.
Thank you. But secondly, your Jimmy Stewart thing, I'm going to slightly disagree.
Oh.
I'm going to take your Jimmy Stewart and raise you Jennifer Coolidge.
Okay, let's hear it.
No, I'm not going to do the. I'm not going to. I'm not going to do a fucking impression, Matt.
Well, what the fuck? You can't say it, and then you're not gonna do it.
I think you'll find I just did.
Shameful.
I don't do impressions. But I think Jennifer Coolidge would be excellent.
If you say so. Hey, Nemo, you know who's back in the guest request?
Who?
That kid who came up and farted and thought it was funny.
Oh, did his balls finally drop?
I don't know. Guess we can ask him. Yo, did your balls finally drop, or?
They've been dropped for some time.
Oh, cool.
Congrats. Are you grown up now?
I think that's quite evident from my voice.
Well, are you
also,
grown
I'm
up
20.
now?
I was grown up before.
Oh.
You were kind of mean to me last time, Nemo, but I forgive you.
I'm very much an asshole, and I'm okay with that.
Oh
If
no.
that upsets you that I'm an asshole, okay,
Was Nemo mean
go
to
to a safe
you?
space.
I mean, one gust of wind hits your mic, and then he asked if I've sterilized myself. Like, there's a pretty 0 to 100 really quickly there.
Bro, that's not what
Negative.
happened. You farted it. You did a fart sound in the microphone. We all know you did it. You thought it was funny, and it wasn't. So you can either just like move on. If you'd like to have a political discussion, cool story. If you don't, then just fucking leave. It's cool either way. We all know what you did. Like, you don't sit there and whine like a little bitch because you did something and nobody found it funny and it was just dumb. Like, it's okay. You did something stupid and it fell fucking flat. Anyone who's ever done comedy or anything like that, they've had it happen, and you did something fucking stupid. It didn't work. Move the fuck on.
Hang on, Kelsey in the comments has let you know that the complaints department is 1-800-STFU.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Okay,
feel like
so
that's-
if you
I have a
do have
feeling
a
that
if you do have a complaint, you can call 1-800-STFU and they will handle your issue.
I have a feeling that is not a real phone number.
What?
It totally is.
No, definitely real. Definitely, most phone numbers are 4 digits.
And you talk about bad jokes, and you talk about jokes that fall flat. I mean, that was like, that didn't even like, that's like trying to fly I don't know. There's some analogy for that.
Out of interest, how many times have you performed comedy in front of an audience? Like, how many times?
Quite a few.
Okay, and how many of those were paid?
No one was paid. I mean, people paid to be there, obviously.
Okay, but you didn't get paid.
Well, I mean, it's like they're all contests. I don't win. I don't win.
No, we know.
Yeah, that's evident.
I mean, well, okay, hurt my feelings again here, man. I think, I think,
If you want to be in comedy, you need to get a real tougher skin there, kiddo.
I'm gonna introduce you to something that British comedians use as a rule of thumb. Okay, if you have a bad night and it doesn't your set doesn't go down well, you need to let it go immediately. Otherwise, it plays on your mind for the next time you perform. The same with if you have a really good night. You have to let it go immediately. Otherwise, the next time you go on stage, you're going to be cocky and nobody's going to find you funny. And it's called the Millikan's Law. You can look it up.
please, okay, as reference, please name one funny British comedian.
A whole ton of them. Are you actually kidding?
No, I'm not. I'm as serious as a heart attack right now.
What's his name? Jack Whitehall? Is that his name?
Jack Whitehall, Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy Carr. I saw Jimmy Carr. Holy fucking shit! I've laughed my ass off. God damn.
I'll just refer you back to although I don't find them funny, but as we know, comedy is subjective. Monty Python.
I love Rowan Atkinson. I know that Erika does not like Mr. Bean. I will die on this fucking hill. I fucking love Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah, Ricky Gervais. Do you want me to carry on?
You said humor is subjective. You just said humor is subjective. So how are you going to judge what I think is hypothetically funny?
No, I'm not. I'm judging on what is popular amongst people. It doesn't have to be popular with you. The same as I just said, I don't really like Monty Python, but they were an incredible hit. What you find funny is farting into a microphone. So I don't.
Which I didn't. It was a gust of wind. I'm outside.
No, it wasn't. You're just lying, dude. Just listen. If you're gonna be up here, stop lying. Shut the fuck up. Do you want me to play it for you?
Actually, sure. You know what? Play the volume.
Actually, I'm not gonna do that because I'm pretty sure that's what got me a restriction earlier. So I'm good.
You playing the volume?
You can go back and you can
the sound itself.
Yeah, the sound itself. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's what got me a restriction on YouTube earlier. So no,
Can you give me the timestamp?
No. Go back and watch it yourself. It's publicly available. Anyone who wants to can go back to the beginning of the stream and watch it themselves.
My
Oh,
time.
you know,
North, do you want to have a political discussion, North?
Little gust of wind hits your mic.
No one fucking cares.
you know who I'm finding really funny right now? James Acaster. I freaking love James Acaster. He's the one that did the bit about the British Museum.
Oh my God, that was fucking great. That he's meant. Why? Like, there's so many good British comedians. Like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Like, that's just what a dumb fucking thing to say. Were there even any funny British comedians? Yes, loads of them. Loads of them.
Yeah. To the point of Joel, the other one, the third thing that you had mentioned, packing the Supreme Court. So, I'll sometimes get shit for this. I'm not on board with just straight up packing the court. There are two things that I am all right with as far as the Supreme Court is concerned. So, just doing like a unilateral change in the size of the court and packing, so going to 13 and then nominating, four in like simultaneously. The problem with that is that it ultimately undermines the court itself, and it would very quickly lead to this ever increasing shift with the court, where then the Republicans will either increase it again, or they'll reduce the size, so whatever. So I've always been kind of about just straight up packing it. Now, what I do like is tying it to something. So, if you just did like straight court packing, that undermines the very little legitimacy that the Supreme Court still has. But if you tie it to the number of district or circuits that exist, I'm okay with that, because I don't know how. Like, I've asked Barrister about this before. Judicial circuits aren't something that you can just kind of create or destroy easily, and so there are 13 circuits. And typically, the way that it works is a justice is assigned to a circuit. But there are 13 judicial circuits, so if we want to say, all right, the number of circuits equals the number on the court, I'm good with that, because at least then you have like a buffer on how that's determined. That's one. Also, when it comes to the Supreme Court, what I'm a very big fan of is something that I've mentioned a few times over the years. So there's this bill that Ro Khanna had originally proposed. He proposed it in 2021, and I think he did it again in 2022. And of course, it didn't go anywhere. But it's called the Supreme Court Term Limits and Regular Appointments Act. If you type in HR 5140 and then Supreme Court, you'll find it. Now, to be clear, HR 5140, that is just a bill number, and bill numbers are recycled. So you got to type in HR 5140 Supreme Court, okay? Anyway, this bill sets term limits on the Supreme Court. And the way that it works is a justice gets one term that's 18 years long. And the idea is that, okay, well, they didn't one term, so whatever, don't have to politicize it at all. 18 years is long enough. That's about, I don't know, half to 2/3 of a generation. Okay, cool. And also the reason why it's 18 years is because every 2 years in this bill, every 2 years, a new justice gets appointed. And it's off years. It's off year, so non-election years. So a new justice gets appointed every 2 years. There are 9 justices total. So by the time that you get through all 9, that would be 18 years. And so that's why the number is 18. And as far as the appointing of a new justice, the logic behind that is right now it's luck of the draw. So Biden got to appoint Breyer, or well, his successor. But that was because he retired. And he was kind of forced into that. Obama should have been able to appoint at least one more justice. And he was denied that. Donald Trump, so far, has appointed 3. Despite, only having one term. He appointed 3 fucking justices in his first term. Which is insane. So it is luck of the draw. It is a matter of, okay, well, we got to wait until, hey, somebody died, now there's a vacancy, or they retire. And so, because it's luck of the draw, it's chaotic. And so you run into these situations where some presidencies, they might appoint maybe 1, 2, and then there are these other administrations that'll appoint 4 or 5, which is crazy. So spacing it out to every 2 years, making it predictable, what that means is that, okay, hey, you are voting for a president. One of the powers of the president is the ability to nominate Supreme Court justices. And when you vote for this president, you are guaranteeing 2 nominations for that term. That is guaranteed. So it removes this chaotic unpredictability with the court. And I think that that's way better. Also, it fixes the bullshit loophole that McConnell pulled with Scalia. So Mitch McConnell back in 2016, Antonin Scalia, he was a justice, he died, and Obama tried to nominate someone to fill the spot. Mitch McConnell said, fuck off, we're not doing that. And he was the Senate Majority Leader, and the Senate Majority Leader has a crazy amount of power. And they are able to basically say, this is the agenda, and fuck off. So they didn't have hearings whatsoever. And they stalled. And they gave some bullshit excuse, and whatever. And then they promptly reversed that in 2020, right after Ginsburg died. And they rammed through Barrett in 40 days. So, again, bullshit. So, this bill fixes that that tactic that Mitch McConnell used. So, if a vacancy is there and a president nominates someone, from the time that they are publicly nominated, the clock starts. And I think it's 120 days from the time that somebody is publicly nominated for the Senate to hold hearings. After 120 days, if there have been no hearings, guess what? Fuck off. Too bad, so sad. That person gets approved by default.
Hey guys, I am sorry. I hate to kind of stop things, but I have to go. I want to say thank you real quick. Thank you, Wesley, for the 2 super chats. Says agreed 10,000% when that takes on filibusters. Bring the beer, bring the popcorn. Much love. Said John Cleese is a comedy goat and he's British. Thank you, Wesley. I appreciate that. Nemo, did you have any last ones to read?
I had 2 from Joel. Thank you, Joel, for the cash app. You said DC's hurt rural Georgia, but not Metro as much, and it's class warfare and NIMBYism. Yes, you're right. Yeah, that's all I got.
Nemo, I'm gonna let you decide where we should go. Take a look and check it out. See what you think.
See, Joey is on.
Joey is on.
I don't see anybody else. So yeah, let's raid Joey.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. And just real quick, I'm unsure about tomorrow with Erika. I'm dealing with a little thing here, and I talked to her about it today. I'm hopeful that we will be on tomorrow, like normal, but I'm just not 100% sure. If you don't see me on with Erika, that is the reason why. So I'm just giving you a heads up. It is possible that I may not be able to be on tomorrow afternoon. Okay, so I appreciate you guys understanding. Thank you guys for being here with us tonight. We really appreciate it. Thank you for supporting us. Per usual, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Also, apologies to our friends on the tube for the couple of restarts that we had to do, but all is well that ends well over there. Okay, let's go see Joey. As always, Nemo and I, again, thank you for being here. Much love to our friend Erika for being here. Please make sure that you're following everybody. Erika's private. If you click follow with her, she'll just have to accept you at some point after the fact. And make sure you're subscribed to Nemo over on the tube as well as me. You can find his link in the link tree in his bio, or you can click it right down here if you're over on the tube. You can also find Erika's link to follow her on the tube is good. Okay, I appreciate you guys very much. Take care.